I am taking over the Cleveland Browns. And, this is an interesting one. Their first pick is 42. So, but in the first 5 rounds, they still have 6 picks. It's a very interesting mock draft to go about. Obviously, they traded the farm for a quarterback who shall not be named. Um, and that's all I'm going to say about that situation. At 42, I'm going with yet again Keanu Benton. I already talked about him. The guy's a dog. I really like Keanu Benton a lot. So shout out Keanu Benton. Next up is Syracuse offensive tackle Matthew Bergeron. I think he's not getting as much hype as he was. Like at the Senior Bowl, everyone was talking about him, and all of a sudden, nobody's talking about him at all. I really don't know where he's going to go. If he is at, 98, that's not a bad pick by any means. I don't hate that for Cleveland. And then as Tyler said earlier, this is a wide receiver who is being undervalued, not talked about, which understandable. I feel like even mainstream media, we just haven't heard bro's name in a while, and that is Parker Washington. Do we know where where's bro at? That's I don't think anyone actually knows. This is a
He's just somebody that not many people have heard a lot about, and I think that it's somebody whose name is just going to continue to fly under the radar. And unless NFL teams are getting on it, if he keeps falling, why not go take a chance on another receiver who has strong hands and pretty much plays in a similar way to one of his Penn State former teammates in Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, I think he's a lot of fun, and I think more people need to talk about him, but they won't. I also went with Overshown here because they like weird hybrids in Cleveland. That's just how their defense is. You think of JOK and those type of guys. This is a guy who played safety and converted to linebacker. So, I think it's just a pick that makes sense for Cleveland because they are Cleveland, not necessarily because it's a need. And then I went with Byron Young out of Tennessee at pick 142. I don't think he's going to be available at 142, but his production was pretty off the charts. I think that him and the other Byron Young, who shall not be mixed up because they are very different players, um, I think these guys aren't getting talked about enough, which is weird because I felt like that's all anyone talked about during the season was the two Byron Youngs. Um, but these guys are, especially this Byron Young, is going to be very good in the NFL. He's strong, powerful athlete, and can make people miss. So, I feel like he's a good pick to build up your defense with. Pairing him and Keanu Benton on that line, I think would, help bring it along a lot quicker than they thought it would. And then lastly, I went with an Ohio guy, Ohio State guy, Ronnie Hickman. They just cut a safety. Might as well bring another one back in. Ronnie's a good player. I think he's got high upside. That's really that's all it is to this pick. That's really it. I think this is just a kind of average draft, but I think it gives them a lot of guys who could become really good, but already have a pretty, high floor.